and you accidentally unmute yourself, I will mute you back, unless you're, of course, called to speak. But thank you all for coming tonight. Okay. Harry, 1 minute to go, and you'll see that red light come on.
Sounds good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can hear you just fine. Right.
Okay, good.
And okay, I started the recording. It should start in a few seconds.
Hi, everybody. My name's Harry Newhan. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and want to welcome you to the Pxch Open House. I'm excited to share with you and introduce our founder. Pxch is it's challenging a market that currently does over 550 million webinars and billions of texts, emails, and DMs every single day, just like this one to many, one to some to many. But for those that are new here today, you're about to step into the future of what the video conferencing and point of contact industry has evolved to, where your call to action for your products and your services of your brand can happen in real time, instantly, or recorded. And we're the only ones that have it in the whole world. So in business, what I found is when you have an amazing product, great leadership, and foresight, timing is everything. And your timing couldn't have been better. So let me introduce the brains behind this revolution, our CEO of Pxch, Mr. Steve Jameson.
Thank you, Harry. And whether it's brains or lack of brains, I'll let you decide that after this demo today, right? At least we're smart enough to get you here. And why are you here? We live in a world today that is going through one of the greatest transformational changes possible. In fact, I just saw on CNBC a report that says the AI impact on our lives that we will see as everyday people in the next 6 months will literally dwarf what we've seen up to this point. And one of the ways that AI is having such a huge impact is in communication. And those numbers that Harry talked about, let me put some statistics on it, important, because every one of these statistics affects this platform, which means it can affect you. 550 billion people a day get on a live webinar. That's quite a few people. 100 million more in a recorded webinar. 185 billion texts are sent every single day, with almost 90% of them actually being opened. 400 billion emails are sent every single day, even though we think emails are archaic and outdated. But the truth is, 100 billion of them are open and read because they're sent by people you know. And social media, of course, right? The 25-year-old stepchild for my son, right? 1.5 billion people a week get on a live stream every single week. It just means one simple thing. We want to engage. But let's look at what's happened with Zoom, Google Meets, and the traditional webinar, texting, email platforms. What happens when you do engage? Every single person's been on a webinar tonight, and you've seen some great presentations, hopefully tonight included. And how does the presentations usually always end? No matter how good it is, no matter how excited you are, no matter how much you intend to move forward, you know what you get? You don't get the ability to move forward. You get a text in the chat. And then you have to make sure you're just as excited tomorrow or the next day or the 4 or 5 days later when you start getting those harassing phone calls of, don't you remember when you were excited? There has to be a better way. Same thing when you get a text. When you get a text, you get a link. You go someplace and you leave the message of why the person sent it to you in the first place. When was the last time you got an interactive email? When was the last time you were on a social media streaming platform and you couldn't use the QR code because you're on your phone? We live in a time with technology where you should be able to take the action you want to take when the person who makes the presentation wants to take it and you as the customer. Well, now you can. Otherwise, that whole speech wouldn't have meant a whole lot. So I'd like to say to you right now in the first 5 minutes, instead of some long-winded explanation about how we do it and why we do it and where we do it and when we do it, just do it. Touch the screen right now. This screen is completely interactive. You can actually try Pxch today, go to the features, go to the pricing page. In fact, up to 600 people could do this at the same time in private. Put in your credit card information, your personal information, your zip code, and no one else is going to see that information besides you. But here's something even better, because there's a lot of technologies out there that are claiming, hey, I got Zoom and a buy button. What they don't have is to be able to seamlessly toggle back and forth between you're in control and the host. Because if I'm making a presentation, I don't want 600 people get ahead of me. I don't want to have to go every 2 minutes. Hey, I'm over here. Please don't look at the website. So if you notice right now, I'm in control, not you. And I could bring up the pricing page. I could bring up the features page. And when and if it's the best moment for you to take action, guess what? I just made it interactive again. So that's right. We are live and interactive. Welcome to Pxch. But also, I also said that not everyone shows up live. They show up in a recording. So guess what? We can do the same thing in a recording. Your guests don't have to be here, but you do. And so when you make a recording, you can actually turn the pages on the website, not tell them where to go, actually take them where you want to go, and they can still take action. So live and interactive, recorded and interactive. And what about this? What if they don't speak your language? What about real-time international voice translations, 42 different languages around the world in real time? They'll hear you in the language of their choice, and you'll hear them in the language of your choice when they're talking to you. So live and interactive, recorded and interactive, real-time voice translations. And then what about when I say there can be 600 people? I know the first thing you're saying is, I don't know 600 people. But if you work in an affiliate marketing or network marketing and you work with a team, you can get 600 people on here in a minute. But what happens on a Zoom when you get 600 people? Is you have to get together with the person who invited you, because the host is the only one with the website, and he's going to get credit for all the guests that you brought. Not here with Pxch. With Pxch, we can give you invite links to give to everyone in your sales team. It'll track the guests that they bring and track them to their affiliate or replicated websites. So they get credit for the sale with no integration, no setup, no download, and no new technology. So live and interactive, recorded and interactive, interactive text, interactive email, smart links that'll track customers. And one more thing, I actually misrepresented the truth, is you don't have to be here live to make a recording. You can actually use and create your own AI avatar. And now you may think, what would I do with an avatar? What an avatar allows you to do is to be in more places at once at the same time. Meaning you could be the person that reminds people in an invite link why it was so important that you invited them in the first place. Don't need the avatar live during the meeting. You're still the best thing there is. But what about in the follow-up? Every time we send that text in the chat and hope that they follow up, have they ever gotten a 4 or 5 minute follow-up from you? Or do you ask them to watch the whole 45-minute replay they didn't want to watch the first time and take an action? This is where AI technology is great. We are in the sales and marketing business. How do I know? I've been in it for 25 to 30 years, did about $4 billion in sales, work with large sales teams. I'm speaking to you from experience, not from some theoretical ivory tower about what I'm telling you that you should do. So if you want to build Nu Skin, if you want to build Herbalife, if you want to build Amway, if you want to build Shopify or Amazon or eBay or any website in the world, any product, any service in any country, in any language, this software, whether you're 25 or 55, whether you're working on social media, text, email, or webinars, you know what we simply do? We make you more effective. So how good is our technology, right? So that's why we always have a special guest, because I don't want to show off our technology. I want to be very clear. I'm showing what you can do with our technology. So let me share the screen for a second. Oh, if you don't mind, let me stop sharing this one. I'm good, but I can't share 2 screens at once. I know my limitations. Okay. And let me find what I want to show you. A second here. Oh, I don't want what one. Hold on a second. Let me stop that one. It's the problem when you have so many tabs open here, right? Hold on a second here. Ah, this is it. Okay, everyone, please put yourself on mute, otherwise I'll have to mute you. And here we go.
Hello, everyone. I am Magic Johnson. I used to play basketball. Let me correct that. I didn't just play basketball. I transformed it from a time in the past into the now and into the future, or what became more commonly known as Showtime. And while my smile always made it look like I was having fun, trust me, uprooting the past and bringing the future into the now is never easy. Here at Pxch, you are bringing the future into the now time and I want you to know how much fun is waiting for you on the other side of this transformation. As a 19-year-old rookie, the owner didn't want to pay me what I was worth. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time at that time, didn't want to share the spotlight until we started winning. And boy, did we win and win and win. But today, I am playing the same game as you, and that is the game of business and of life. And I am still smiling. And you should be too. Ever since I could walk, I was preparing to be a great basketball player. So when that moment arrived, I was ready to meet the moment. Now, you may say I was born with a talent and a gift, but I would tell you my confidence came from my preparation. In business, I had no natural gifts I was aware of and needed to prepare for that moment with the same intensity, hard work, and transformational imagination I had learned to bring to the game of basketball. Except I didn't have 20 years to prepare this time. When I left basketball, I was almost 40 years old. I had to bring my future into the now time, or there would be no time for me to be successful. There was only a small window for me to transition and be ready for the moment. I couldn't control when that moment would come, but I could control whether I would be ready for it. Which leads me to ask you, are you ready for this moment with Pxch? For example, are you ready to talk to me about the product? Do you use the product? Can you show it off to me at its best? Can you speak with enough passion and expertise to get me on a live demo? If you had a chance to enroll me right now on Why Pxch, Why Now, can you do it? Are you ready to sign me up with your best presentation? Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. If not, why not? When I went to my first board meeting, I made sure I knew as much as I could about their product and their business. But I knew I wouldn't know more about their product than them. But I did know more about the black people who could buy their product and weren't doing so. And I quickly saw I was the smartest person in the room about that. I learned what my seat at the table was and how to be Magic Johnson in this game too. Once I learned to use, talk, and demo my perspective on their product, I was ready to win again. I approached the biggest companies in the world and didn't ask for them to buy my name, but to let me buy into them as an investor and owner and bring their business to the black community. I transformed how traditional businesses thought about and approached the black community. I invested in and brought movie theaters, Starbucks, and insurance companies into the black communities and outperformed our counterparts by nearly every important metric, especially the one about making money. Today, I am proud of being the fourth professional athlete to become a billionaire. And my companies sell to everyone from Disney to Delta Airlines. I am the majority owner of a nationwide insurance company and an equity investor in the Los Angeles Dodgers and the NFL's Washington Commanders. And I am a businessman who now sells to every community in the world because I made sure I was ready for the moment. Pxch is ready for the moment. Are you?
All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. If you're brand new, you may go, is Magic Johnson support Pxch? No, he doesn't know Pxch exists, which is really the magic of the technology. We're not pretending he does. We're using this strictly for demonstration purposes only, because it is hard to imagine after watching that he didn't say those words, that we wrote that script for him. Now, why did we choose him to speak for Pxch? I actually went to a convention once when I was running Success Magazine. I had Magic Johnson on the cover and I had a chance to get to know him. And he was as remarkable as you think he is. But I actually once saw him speak at a convention by Eric Worre in Las Vegas. And I remember him walking around the room with that speech, asking if the people in this room who paid a fortune to be there were ready to be successful. Were they in the right vehicle? Was the right vehicle for them, helping them be ready to be successful? And he said, and he walked up to a woman and he said to her, that, with his big smile, "Are you ready?" And she goes, what do you mean? He goes, stand up. He says, I'm going to give you 1 minute to tell me why I should give you $1 million in your business to do it. And if you do it really well in front of all these people, I'll give you that $1 million. Go right now. She froze. He didn't do it to embarrass her. He did it to say, when do you know when Magic Johnson or the next Magic Johnson is going to be in your life? When do you know when the next opportunity is going to walk into your life? You are in control, he said, of being ready for the moment. And he said, you know what? I know right now you're ready. That 30 seconds that went by, you already replayed the whole speech. He goes, stand up right now and say that speech. And she said it, and she was like Shakespeare. She was so brilliant. And so I don't think it's an accident that Magic Johnson was one of the greatest basketball players of all time, and also now proving to be one of the most successful business people. And I'm sure if he did know about Pxch, he would make that speech for us. So once again, live and interactive, recorded and interactive, interactive text, interactive email, interactive social media broadcasting. And you know what's the most interactive of all is the people who are excited about using our platform. And I want you to hear from them next. And so that next person, the first person to kick us off, is somebody, again, and I think I've shared this before, he works really hard at introducing us to people and introducing us to people who actually see the vision, because he paints the vision before I get a chance to talk to them, and that's Gary Frick. Go ahead, Gary. Unmute yourself, Gary.
Sorry about that. Well, thank you, Steve. It's great to be on, and I'm really excited to be here. And I just want to start by telling you a couple of stories of what I've been running into. I was talking to this guy who's a digital marketer, web developer. He uses AI in what he does. And he said, before I could even get halfway through what I wanted to tell him about Pxch, he's on the website. He's going, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is impressive. Who did this? He said, oh my gosh, I'm blown away. I haven't seen anything like this. I was talking to a woman who came into the business. She talked to her husband, who's a longtime, well-regarded, well-known business consultant in some big companies for many years. And when he looked at this, he said to his wife, he said, do you understand what you have your hands on? I've never seen anything like this in the last several years. This is amazing. And now he's getting on board. So, you know, when people look at this, and I tell them all the time, when would you ever see a business model like this where, you know, if you share it with 3 people, you get it for free? I mean, everybody likes free, right? But, you know, that's brilliant, because you think about it, you just triple the business. And I thought, okay, as a business person, I've been in business for 25, 30 years in the direct selling space, but I've never seen anything like that. And people say to me, oh, well, that's just for 1 month, right? I said, no, you don't understand. You get that every month just with 3 people. You can have 4, 5, or 6, as many as you want, but you only need 3. And so here's the thing. I think people, and quite honestly, we haven't even begun to see how creative and innovative people are going to be. The tools that we have here, they've never seen before. They don't even know really what they can do with them at this point. But anytime, I've learned over the years, anytime you can be part of a huge industry that's going through some big time growth, that's where there's always opportunity. And then it's up for us to figure that out. But this isn't that hard to figure out, honestly. And we're just scratching the surface, honestly. You know, I have another business guy who, you know, I've known for about 5, 6 years ago. He called me up. He was talking to me, and I said, you know what? I said, you have some international contacts, as I recall, right? Well, he said, I know people in Asia and Africa and Dubai and Sri Lanka, the Philippines. I said, really? I said, do you understand? I haven't even told you what this is yet, but I'm going to tell you right now, you're sitting on a gold mine. He said, what are you talking about? So I showed him this, and he's so excited. I'm trying to slow him down to say, you got to get started first before you know what you're doing, right? I've got another guy in Mexico. He says, I've got people all over Mexico into South America. He's trying to clear his deck so we can get this thing started. I've got people in Canada, here in the US, and we're just scratching the surface, honestly. So I've always believed, and I've seen this because I lived through a company. If you're fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time with the right company that's going through some huge growth, that's changing a whole market, which is exactly what we're doing, I believe there'll be people 3, 4, 5 years from now saying, when did you get involved? You mean this guy, Steve, who was the CEO, he was talking to you personally? He was doing trainings 3, 4 days a week? He was doing individual presentations? Oh, come on, you got to be kidding me, right? I said, no, that was what was happening back then. Oh my gosh, how fortunate were you to be in the right place at the right time? And I'll just close with this and tell you this. I tell people all the time, when was the last time in the last 20, 25 years that you had a chance to be part of, either direct or indirectly, that you could build a business that could go into 200 countries potentially, and all you need is an internet connection and a laptop or a cell phone? I mean, really, seriously. I mean, if you've been in business, you've got capital, you've got employees, you've got equipment, you got all kinds of stuff. And I looked at this and I thought, this is amazing. This is a home run. I honestly believe it's a home run. And I am just so excited and so grateful to be a part of this. And Steve, thank you for all that you've done to put this on the map for all of us.
No, thank you, Gary. And I think what's so remarkable about hearing in these testimonials tonight is how we have everything in common and nothing in common, right? It's just the same way. We're not changing the webinar vertical. We're changing the insurance business. We're changing the real estate business. We're changing e-commerce. We're changing DocuSign, right? It's this universality of the people who are attracted to this, the people who can use it, and the people who can talk about it. And one of those people who I know is ready for the moment, because she shows up every single day to get even more ready and more prepared, and has done, so much with just who she is as opposed to what she does. And those two things will be getting closer together. And that's Ms. Terry Marie. Go ahead, Terry. Tell your story.
Hello, everybody, and happy Cinco de Mayo. I'm a little flustered and excited. Being an entrepreneur is very new for me. Being part of this, I'm just wowed and awed. But why my pitch, is the first thing I thought of when I first saw this amazing new way to webinar, email, and even text, is how Pxch can interact with my current clients and the new clients as well, at the comfort of their desk, like it was back in the day before we were working remotely and using QuickBooks Online. I am a bookkeeper, by the way. My why now? Since adventuring on my own and just starting out my bookkeeping business, Pxch and I will grow and learn together, improving the onboarding system, having them to be able to participate in the comfort of their desk without me looking over their shoulder or them looking over my shoulder. They can navigate just as they normally do, and when we discuss areas of concern or they're just in need of guidance or something, I'm there to help. Thank you, everybody. Nice to meet you.
Terry, thank you so much. And again, I just love your story. And you can share with everyone. No one told you what to say. No one told you how to prepare. No one told you the style, right? I know, it's so sweet and it's so charming. And thank you for just being you. We have somebody scheduled, and I don't see him on the participant list. And I always hate that when they go, and here he is, and you go next. So if you could if you're there, please unmute yourself. Manny Peniel from New York. Manny, are you here tonight? Because I don't see you in the participant list. And
I
if
think
not,
there's trouble getting on, Steve.
Okay, that's what I thought. So you see, I'm always accused of not paying attention. I actually paid attention. I saw who was on or not. But let me stay in New York and stay to somebody who is just a great soul. There's certain people that you feel you have to set up, and there's certain people that just speak of who they are at hello. And that's the next speaker, which is Mr. Rick Amico.
Well, thank you for that. That was a wonderful introduction. I appreciate that. As always, I always start off with a quick moment of gratitude, because I believe with all my heart, mind, body, and soul that we are genuinely lucky to have caught this one, something so big, so early. So what am I specifically grateful for tonight? I am grateful that I never have to be on another Zoom meeting again, because after Pxch, they feel like a hostage situation with a screen share, right? Just 30 years old, it's done, right? Pivoting to Pxch, I can actually imagine one morning waking up and my avatars booked more demos than I did, which is either exciting or offensive, I'm not sure which. Now, the lesson, though, that I wanted to share, which I think is really important, and it really dovetails into what the Magic Johnson avatar said tonight, is from one of my signups this week. I mentioned her last week. There's an 81-year-old woman that I signed up. She knows zero about technology. Keeps telling me how bad a salesperson she is. I don't sell. I can't. But you know what she does have? An incredible amount of enthusiasm. And she loves this. She's a coach. She loves the technology, loves what it does. Heard the story about Dan, who closed $78,000 in business on one interactive webinar, went through the moon. And she's already, her mind is going. I wish I had her energy. The short version is this, and why am I mentioning her again? She has more people lined up for demos than anyone else I've got. And I've got people that are really working it. The takeaway for me is exactly what Steve had Magic say. If you bring the enthusiasm for what we have, you're going to get people. All she tells people is, I've got this amazing thing that you've got to see. That's it. That's it. And she's got a list of people. She calls me every day. I'm going to have 2 more for you today. I'm going to have this guy. Okay, wow. This is, go for it, man. The second person I just wanted to mention, because Gary mentioned it to jog my memory, signed up a guy who owns call centers all over the world. India, Philippines, Latin America. Did the demo, was blown away, signs up, but he stops me and he says, man, it's too bad I can't sell this in other countries. Why can't you sell this in other countries? He said, you're telling me I can sell this in India, in the Philippines, and Latin America? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I'm off to the races. He goes, this is the most exciting thing I've ever seen, and I've got an infrastructure that can do this. So here's the short version. Why is any of this important? I'm certainly nothing special, right? I say all of this not with arrogance, but with gratitude. If you just follow a process, as salespeople, we're not in control of the outcome, but we are in control of the activity. Maggie's 81 years old, and she's starting to get results. She's got people recruited. Just go after it, right? You don't have to know everything. You don't have to go for perfect. Just go for it with all your enthusiasm, and you can be successful. And that's one of the many things I love about this. So Steve, again, thank you for doing this, because it's not just great, it's a lot of fun, and I'm just really enjoying the ride. I really am.
Thank you, Rick. And again, to point out or emphasize what you're saying, it's not that Pxch is simply available in other countries, in other languages, in every corner of the world, but Pxch can work for those companies in every company in the world. That's, to me, is again the remarkable, that we get judged on how effective we are for the companies that other people have, not for simply our company.
Yep.
And Rick, if I would so much as agree with you, you're nothing special, and I don't. Our next guest is someone special, so hopefully not in contrast, right? But I love her. It's that simple. And the truth is, I hardly even know her. And that's what the best part about working in a collaborative experience with people is. You get to grow together. You get to become successful together. You get to fail together. You get to have bad meetings together, and you get to have remarkable ones like we had today. And so I want to introduce somebody who, again, thank you for bringing me somebody who came to us today, interested in selling us his technology. By the end of the meeting, he forgot that's what he wanted to do. And he was just busy setting up meetings about our technology for every other person that works in his office, right? So with that, Helene, go ahead, take the stage.
Hi, everyone. First of all, Steve, I adore you too. I mean, one of these days we're all going to get together, but Pxch has been life-changing. You know, I'm not just about Pxch. I have my own ecosystem. I'm a matchmaker for businesses. But what am I really doing? I'm focusing on matchmaking all the businesses on Pxch, because Pxch is the platform to help businesses shine and be seen and promote. And yeah, I went to this channel partner show a couple weeks ago, and this gentleman who I had a meeting with, he wanted to sell me his website and, you know, promote him. And I said, okay, but we're going to first have a meeting with Steve, because I want to show you. And what I tell people, you know, I don't have all the tools Steve has, so I could do a presentation, but there are certain things that Steve could do that I just can't do. I can't get into the back office exactly. So he said, okay. I go, so Steve will start, and then we'll take over and we'll meet and we'll talk about how I could refer you and all that. Well, the windup was he starts out telling us about his website and all that and all the things. And then all of a sudden Steve said, okay. Then he showed Pxch. And this guy's eyes lit up. And then we're talking about how we could collaborate and how Pxch could actually enhance what his website offering does to people. And you know what? Pitch enhances every single thing that we do. I mean, I have so many follow-up meetings. I am like backed up. And honestly, I sell health insurance and life. I do it all. But I'm focusing on pitch because it's my main squeeze right now because it's like I'm so excited about it. In fact, I am so excited. My colleague, Andrew, who you're going to be hearing from, I want to tell you, I'm so proud of him. He is really working it, and I'm helping him. You know, he speaks multiple languages. And so he has a community. Well, he'll tell you, I don't want to take away his thing, but Steve, just thank you so much. And you know what?
Helene, why don't you do this? Why don't you introduce Andrew? Because
Okay,
you know him
wonderful.
so much better than I do.
Oh, I know. So I want to, first of all, Andrew is a genius, okay? Not only is he a genius, but he's one of the nicest, down to earth men that's out there. Yeah, you know what? Enjoy the compliments. So, you know, don't let yourself get, but he tries, okay? And pitch is not, you know, once you understand it, it's a learning curve because it's new technology. And I mean, I'm going to be booking another call with you, Steve, to learn how to do all these multiple videos because I tried to do Lucille Ball and forget about it. But, you know, Andrew, I would like you to, I want to introduce you and thank you and welcome to Pitch. And I think you're going to do amazing with all your different communities. He has a school. Tell everybody what you do. Here's Andrew. Take yourself off mute, I think, right?
Go ahead, Andrew.
You're on mute. We can't hear you.
Oh, I think we're having a mic problem with
Oy.
Andrew. Sorry about that, Andrew. Yep, because you're showing your we should be able to hear you and we're not. So with that, let's quickly go. We have two other speakers left. Well, actually 3 other speakers left.
So maybe we can come back to Andrew when his
yeah.
speakers.
And we'll see that. Andrew, why don't you log out, log back in, see if we can get you back on.
Yeah, that's
We'll
a good
test you.
idea.
Yep. Our next speaker, again, somebody very multi-talented. In fact, last time I gave him such an introduction, he was wondering who I was introducing, and he didn't realize I was introducing him. I'm not going to do that again to him tonight. I'll let him tell his story. And I promise you, it was funny in the very early on when I first started creating the avatars. I think one of the first ones I ever created, right, was Frank Sinatra. And it was really because of him, because I knew he was a Frank Sinatra fan. So he doesn't know, he kind of started the whole ball rolling of the celebrity avatar in that sense. But he certainly has a lot more to contribute than that. So with that, please, Mr. Dave Martin. Dave, unmute yourself. Where is Dave?
Here's Andrew.
I don't see Dave. I think Dave dropped off. So with that, I know somebody who didn't drop off. Let's quickly go. I'm saying to Mr. Ray Jatan.
Good evening, everybody. Man, I'm excited about being here with Pitch just because, I mean, there's so many different reasons, but man, I'm excited about being a part of making history. You know, this is your moment, you guys. This company is going to be $1 billion company before you know it. You know, Zoom's a $25 billion company. The industry's $37 billion, growing at a 7% hike every year. And this is going to happen for us. And you're at the beginning. This is your moment, just like Magic Johnson said. You know what? Pitch is going to give you a lot of moments. Right now, I'm actually sitting in a hospital in Kansas City waiting to be a grandpa here just within the next hour or two. And so I'm super excited about that. And this is why I'm building Pitch, so that I can spend time with my family whenever I want. So, Steve, thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you, Ray. And I always say, if people say to me, why am I building Pitch? Why Pitch? Why now? For me, it's you, Ray. It's Helene. It's Linda. It's Terry. It's Craig, who I don't even know yet, right? These are the experiences I literally have had a chance in 30 years to work with hundreds of thousands of people and actually get to meet them, shake hands with them, thank them for their contributions. I don't know how many people in that many industries get to do this. And so I'm looking forward to doing that with your grandkid too. So let me go back to the person who started it all tonight, and the person who will, I always say, takes us home. He's our backbone. You know, he's our center point, keeps us on track, keeps us focused. Great insight, great wisdom, and somebody that I promise you can all learn from, and that's Mr. Harry Newhan.
Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate it. And so many great stories tonight. Thank you all for sharing, for the new people to hear what Pxch can do. And it's exciting for me because I didn't, my intention wasn't to join Pxch in the beginning. I was talking to Steve and Dave at the first of last year. And as this thing started developing, I said, wow, this is going to be a game changer. This is going to be a disruptor. I said, I want to be a part of it. I've been an international sales trainer and coach and executive consultant for decades. I love what I do. I love helping people. I love teaching what I've been gifted with, the talents and skills that I've learned through the years. And I started using the platform for my clients and some friends I introduced them to. And two questions always came up. How did you do that? And is that something I can use to build my brand? And I said, well, that's what I'm doing. I'm using it for real-time, instantaneous interactivity to build my brand. And so as soon as I referred 3 people, I got mine free. And as soon as I got 5 or more, then the company started sending me residual checks on the monthly subscriptions, not just once, but every month, from 10 to 30%, as wide and as deep as it goes. So it's an extra income stream for me. You say, okay, well, what do you do? How does it work? Where do you get started? So, Steve, if you want to pull up the interactivity, we'll bring up the SmartLink website there. Start the standard plan, the premium plan, or the pro plan. The features, you just get more of them. Start at $49 a month, $79 a month, or $99 a month. And what's exciting is if you start using it with your business, your current brand, you'll get referrals. So like me, I only paid for the first month, and then since then it's been free. Now, after COVID, I referred hundreds of people to Zoom. They continue to charge me every single month. They never sent me a thank you check. And after 3 weeks of using Pxch, I was able to cancel that subscription altogether. So what do we do once we join? Well, the first thing we do is we use the product. Second thing we do is we talk to people. And the third thing we do is we do live demos to let them experience the technology. Because once they experience it and touch the screen like you can right now, you get that wow moment. Say, oh my God, it's actually working for me too. Not just what you showed, it's actually working. And then those that get started tonight, or those that have questions on different parts of the platform, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time on the same link you came in on today, Steve is going to do an open house workshop. And this workshop will either help you get off to a fast start or answer any questions with the avatars, with the clones, with setting up a meeting, the international translation, any aspect of the platform that you have a chance to go through tonight and have a question on. Steve takes time out of his day tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern time, and he will actually answer those questions for you so that you can get off to a fast start. So use the product, talk to people, demo the product, standard, premium, and pro. This screen is interactive. It'll stay interactive. For any new people that would like to join today, go ahead and click it. And if you have any questions, Steve tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern time will be more than happy to answer those. So with that, join Pxch, join now. That's why Pxch and why now, to help you build your brand faster. And by the way, if you don't have a brand, Pxch can be your brand. And you can build an international organization with Pxch. And then once you have it, then you can plug in whatever brand you want once it's built. So with that, we'll see you all tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us tonight. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye now.
Wait a second. We didn't get to hear from Andrew. We have to save the best for last. Andrew, can you be seen yet? No, there's still something not working. I don't know.